Democratic Senator Christina Castro of Elgin and Republican Senator John Curran of Downers Grove. Senator Castro chairs the Senate Executive Committee, and Senator Curran is the spokesperson, Republican spokesperson on the Assignments and Ethics Committees. Thanks for joining us and taking the time out in what I know is a very busy day for you both. I want to start with the budget. The governor, of course, said a few weeks ago the state's economy is turning around, income's up, and we're paying down our overdue bills and making our pension payments on time. What are the key areas of the governor's budget proposal do you think need to be addressed when it comes to areas like education, social services, and infrastructure in the next few months?
I guess I'll go first. Thank you for inviting us today. I think one of the things that I was pleased to see in the budget, and obviously the payment on education, making sure we make our payment, as well as the fact that we are making not only our traditional pension contributions, but also adding a little bit more. I think there's a lot of conversations around the budget, in particular on different aspects. But, I am actually pleasantly pleased to see what the governor introduced. For my constituents, increase in MAP funding is very important, making sure, college is affordable for many students. And also programs, as you see, investment in LIHEAP, and also, obviously there's going to be some kind of pauses on some of the taxes as far as gas tax, as well as groceries for a year. To give some of our constituents who've been hit hard by the pandemic a bit of a break.
Senator, thanks so much. Senator Curran, from the GOP side.
Very nice to be with you both this morning. We're in a period of time here where we have unexpected revenues, nearly $4 billion in unexpected revenues available, which is going to make the budget process certainly easier, but it's a unique opportunity for us going forward to address some long-term deficits. Senator Castro mentioned education and the pension payment are two musts. It's great to see that as a starting point. We have real problems with the unemployment trust fund, and unemployment benefits have been taxed. It's been spent going through the pandemic. That is something that we must address in this budget. The governor's proposal doesn't get us anywhere near where we need to go on that, and that's going to be a massive tax increase on business, on employers, if we don't do better in this budget process. And then, the senator also touched upon some of the temporary tax relief. I think we want to take a look at how can we actually drive some long-term tax relief to middle-class families, lower-income families here in the state. So I think this is an opportunity to, while we're talking short-term, let's keep an eye on long-term as well. So we have work ahead to do, and I think we can get there.
I'm curious, one of the things that always comes up every year, but other than the temporary property tax break that the governor's proposing, the permanent solution to property tax relief seems always to be elusive. Is there any sense that there could be any more concrete action taken on that during this spring session?
Well, education funding is the path to permanent property tax increase. We fund education in this state in a manner that is not followed by the majority of states in this country. We fund it, solely on local property taxes, just about. This is an opportunity. We are making the full payment on the new funding formula, but we do need to look at ways to shoulder a greater burden of that education funding to provide long-term sustainable property tax relief for residents throughout the state.
Senator Castro?
Senator Curran touched on a very important topic. We've also looked at ways for efficiencies as government accountability and transparency in a lot of different aspects. There's people who've always introduced various pieces of legislation. And I think we're all always open to having those conversations. Both sides have been working diligently on to reduce waste in government.
In addition to the property tax relief and the gas tax relief that the governor's proposing in his budget proposal for the spring. At the same time, I just watched pump prices jump by about 30 or 40 cents here where I live. Is there anything that the General Assembly can do to help, give some relief at the pump?
There are some proposals floating around on some temporary relief at the pump and pauses on or fuel tax. The balance there is, you have to couple that with we have great infrastructure needs. Right now, people are hurting at the pump. Cost of living is become a real big concern for middle class, lower class income families. And so it is an opportunity we have right now to provide some temporary relief or potentially permanent relief on gas prices. But there's only so much the state controls on that. A lot of it is outside of our control, but we certainly have an opportunity to do our part.
Senator Castro?
I think that's, I think Senator Curran is correct. I mean, that's why we're looking at some of these temporarily freezes from the grocery tax to the gas tax, trying to give our families some relief here. The state can only do so much. Obviously, no one anticipated, what's going on abroad and with Ukraine and, Russia attacking Ukraine and other aspects. But we as lawmakers are working very hard to see where we can help middle and working class families work to give them some relief, and especially in the state budget.
One of the things that, of course, that sent shockwaves rolling through the Capitol over the last week was the indictment of former House Speaker Mike Madigan on federal racketeering and bribery charges. And that has brought a renewed call for more ethics reform at the State House. Senator Curran, you serve on the Ethics Committee. What are some of the things that you'd like to see before lawmakers adjourn on April the 8th?
Well, we had a comprehensive package last year that we passed that was a good first step. However, there was much more on the table that we had put forward to discuss. Two items in particular, proposals that I've put forth last year and continue this year that would address specifically, what's going on with the former speaker and just corruption in government is one, an expansion of the statewide grand jury, which would get the Attorney General involved in investigating public corruption crimes. The Attorney General has a statewide grand jury for limited purposes that he convenes. We can expand that to public corruption and actually get our state's top law enforcement official involved in this arena. Secondly, an expansion of state RICO. So the Racketeering, Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act. These are the tools that the federal government uses to investigate public corruption. Our local law enforcement officials don't have those same tools. We need to equip and empower our local law enforcement officials with the same tools under RICO, state RICO, that they have under federal RICO in rooting out public corruption. We are wholly reliant on federal authorities investigating corruption in this state. We need to unleash our local law enforcement officials in this arena. And those are two proposals that we would expand the field in terms of being able to investigate. And because we know it's not just corruption at the highest levels. We want to make sure we investigate it throughout all facets of government in the state to make sure people are getting fair, honest, and ethical government.
Senator Castro, how would those proposals be received on the Democratic side of the aisle in the Senate?
I think one of the things that we have worked on and we continuously work on is ethics proposals. As John Curran mentioned, we passed with bipartisan support a package last session. I think, I sit on the Legislative Ethics Commission. I'm actually pleased that we appointed a very strong Inspector General, Judge Michael McCluskey. Despite some of the back and forth that went on there, he is someone he takes this role very, very seriously. I think when it comes to ethics, we're always open to conversations to see how we can make it stronger, how to make it stronger. And we'll always entertain those.
Senators, thanks so much for your time this morning on Illinois Lawmakers. We certainly appreciate it and looking forward to having you back on the program as quickly as we can.
Thank you.
Thank you.